The floodlights that bathed Buckingham's facade in stately gold could not pierce the tension that settled over the royal residence this week. Inside, the corridors echoed with the muffled slap of brogues and the hiss of hastily shut doors as Britain's most famous family absorbed a blow unlike any in living memory. Prince William's abrupt command to cut every single discretionary penny flowing to Queen Camilla's relatives, instantly detonating a Cold War behind the gates and dragging half-forgotten scandals back into the blinding light of 24-hour news. At the epicenter, an 84-year-old retired cavalry officer with artichoke-smooth manners and a plate of titanium in his hip, Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's ex-husband and on-again off-again confidant. His voice, raspy yet eerily steady, surfaced in a leaked 3-hour audio memoir uploaded to an obscure military history forum. Within minutes it was screen-recorded, mirrored, tick-toped, and piped into breakfast show studios from Sydney to Savannah. What began as a rambling family recollection became, in less than 10 hours, a grenade rolling under Britain's most gilded dining table. She was playing a 50-year game. That single line, delivered by Parker Bowles with a kind of exhausted admiration, has already joined the royal folklore lexicon alongside, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," and "never explain, never complain." According to the recording, Camilla's climb from Sussex Pony Club jokester to Queen Consort was lubricated not only by emotional chemistry with Prince Charles, but by a labyrinth of discreet trusts, Jersey shells, and peer-to-peer bridge loans that shielded royal renovations and funneled duchy profits into places the inland revenue could not peer. Were any of these structures illegal? So far, no evidence says yes. But legality is a dull blade in the court of public opinion. Perception can cleave reputations clean in two. William's line in the sand. Sources inside Kensington say the Prince of Wales listened to the file in one sitting, jaw clenched, fingers drumming a teak desk still nicked by Diana's letter opener. By dawn he'd convened his private secretary, 2 constitutional silks, and the Princess of Wales, herself battling chemotherapy yet described as ice clear, utterly strategic. The conclusion: any cash trail between the Crown and Camilla's extended clan must end before the Monday papers hit the vans. Emails fired out. Direct debits frozen. Aunts, cousins, godchildren, anyone whose gardener's invoice or roof repair stipend snaked back to duchy coffers, woke to polite, but deadly letters. Funding ceased, effective immediately. The reaction? Bedlam. Tabloids splashed, "William pulls the plug," in 4-point type. Day traders shorted luxury property rights rumored to lease Cornwall land. Republican Twitter crowed, monarchists fumed, meme-smiths forged split-screen gifs, William wielding a lightsaber of austerity opposite Camilla in steely pearls, superimposed over the theme from Succession. Charles, torn between crown and heart. Courtiers insist the king did not raise his voice. Yet staff who brought in his evening Darjeeling say the china rattled in his saucer. Friends paint a portrait of a monarch caught in a vice. The father who once whispered to university pals, "I adore my darling boy," now staring into the possibility that boy has delivered a mortal wound to the woman Charles spent 5 decades fighting to legitimize. Charles is both furious and heartbroken, says one long-serving aide. He understands the optics, knows the moral argument, but at 75 he was not prepared to referee another civil war between love and duty. Camilla's counter-narrative. Within 24 hours the Queen Consort's legal pitbulls dispatched letters to every Fleet Street editor citing grave inaccuracies and actionable insinuations. Off the record her friends portray Parker Bowles as a charming but unreliable narrator, nursing old hurts and dazzled by the sudden spotlight. Still, Camilla's team rolled out the soft focus artillery, a pop-up children's literacy session in Brixton, complete with therapy spaniels and cupcake icing tutorials, an embargoed interview praising Prince William's environmental awards, subtle reminders that the king's cancer regime is soothed nightly by her presence. The message: steadfast, grandmotherly, indispensable. The money maze in question. What, precisely, did Parker Bowles allege? Not missing millions, but elastic definitions of family support. Annual private school bursaries for third cousins. A rent-free grace and favor barn on duchy land for Camilla's niece's design studio. A rolling, heritage consultancy, retainer to siblings for advice on stable restorations. Perfectly legal, often modest in line items, but, bundled together, a portrait of quiet entitlement that sticks in the public craw during a cost-of-living crunch. Standard practice. Perhaps. Palatable in 2025's glare. Increasingly not. Parliament sniffs blood. Sensing wind in Republican sails, the Public Accounts Committee has slated an exploratory session on royal finances next month. Whips mutter it will fizzle. Insiders counter that a single subpoena, dragging a duchy accountant before cameras, could unleash spreadsheets more explosive than any love triangle confession. Labour backbench firebrand Rafiq Malik pledges to press for full transparency of royal subsidy flows, while a Conservative grandee retorts the Crown already delivers value in soft power trade missions. Translation: cross-party point-scoring season has begun. Commonwealth aftershocks. From Barbados to Brisbane, Republican politicians seize the moment. Australian Greens leader Tani Patterson tweeted, "If the monarchy can't police its own checkbook, why should we keep them on ours?" Canada's minority government whispers about fast-tracking plans to replace Charles's portrait on the $20 note with an Indigenous motif. Even normally placid New Zealand broadsheets ran cartoons of the tiara taxman knocking at Windsor's gate. What next? 3 scenarios. The white light audit. William persuades his father to authorize an independent KPMG-style review, published in full. Painful but cleansing, it cements William as transparency's prince and muzzles Parliament. The velvet truce, behind oak doors, a compromise. Partial funding restored under strict Charity Commission oversight. Camilla issues a carefully worded regret for any past opacity. Parker Bowles recants nuances for the sake of grandchildren. Critics cry whitewash. Public fatigue sets in. The slow burn collapse. Palace stone walls. Papers keep digging. Leaks drip monthly. Republican sentiment passes 50% in one or more realms. The monarchy survives, battered. But its next crisis, health, marriage, cyber hack, could tip the scales. The human toll. Lost in the geopolitical chess. Kids whose tuition suddenly evaporates. Elderly cousins facing roof leaks. William himself, said to pace Kensington's wisteria walkway long after midnight, torn between filial respect and his pledge to modernize the institution his mother died defending. Catherine, fighting her own battle with cancer, reportedly told friends, "William is carrying so much. The least I can do is shoulder the quiet work." That quiet work now includes soothing a nation whose fairy tale tastes increasingly like day-old champagne, still fizzy, but tinged with regret. Will the House of Windsor's gilded foundations withstand the tremors of leaked ledgers and fraternal resolve? Or will William's moral high-wire act snap, plunging Britain into a constitutional freefall unseen since the abdication? For now the palace gates remain shut, the spin doctors frantic, and the world's gaze locked on an institution discovering, again, that in the age of viral receipts, even a crown cannot hide the color of its money. Stay tuned, because this saga is far from its royal curtain call.